Hi, Gary.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see you today.
Good to see you.
All right, Brad. You can make us look handsome.
Yeah,
Do
especially
your
me.
Well, it's great to be together here for a ministry update with an elder and a K group leader, a building leadership team leader, Gary Haluska. And so, Gary, thanks for coming here today to share.
Thanks for the opportunity to do so. Good morning to all of you as well.
Good. Gary, how are you and Farole getting along?
Well, this is an unusual period of life I think for all of us. We're doing fine. We have not had any health challenges, I don't believe. And we're trying to utilize some common sense, social distancing, if you want to use that term, and just try to continue on to be cautious and yet be optimistic that eventually we'll get past this time. One of the things that we're noticing is the absence of the church family is causing some problems. I'm saying that facetiously, but we long for the day to be able to get back as a body and to share stories of how God has been faithful during these very challenging times. And that day will come hopefully real soon, but at some point we know that it will, by the grace of God.
So how many children, how many grandchildren do you have?
We have 5 girls. I was the only male in the house for quite a few years.
Wow, was that rough?
Well, no, not really. We have 11 grandchildren. All of our girls are married. And I've said somewhat braggadociously, if I can use that word, that the boys outnumber the girls now. Mm-hmm. And this is a whole new experience for me to be in the majority after being in the minority for 20 plus years. I'm saying that all facetiously. We're doing okay. From what we can tell, our daughters and their families are healthy, and they're experiencing the same thing with their church relationships not being as in live situations as what we're experiencing here.
Were you and Farole able to worship online with us on
We were.
Sundays?
Very much appreciated all the hard work that Brad and Tim and you, Bob, have gone to make it an experience. I remarked to some of the other elders that after the service Sunday, that I remarked it was almost like being there. Now, of course, I realized we were not all in the same sanctuary edifice, but the spirit of the worship service I thought was very good, and it brought a lot of good things, I think, to people if they took the opportunity to tune in. And I hope that that'll continue as we approach some really significant days in the church here.
Good. And you've had a K group. Have you been able to communicate with them?
We have not, but we just began to talk about doing that in a virtual setting, and I think this Sunday we will have our first K group meeting in a virtual way.
So you're on the building leadership team,
Mm-hmm.
and we've met as elders via Zoom. Would you give us an update on that? Maybe people are wondering.
I think the spirit of the elders is that we are looking for some indications that it would be appropriate time to proceed. There has never been a feeling that we need to just call a total moratorium and rethink the plans short-term and long-term, but more that we're trying to ascertain what's going on, especially with considering the disruptions that a number of our families have faced with this, with loss of jobs, possibly a change in responsibilities, additional costs that people are incurring in this time, and kind of take a wait and see in the short term. The desire is still very, very strong, and I think the commitment is there to proceed with the plan that's been announced, but it may take a little bit more time than what we originally anticipated.
Good. Well, anything you want to share with us? Any word of encouragement?
One thing I will say that I think can be helpful to people is don't become overly discouraged with this situation. I'm not a physician and a financial wizard and anything like that, but I think the Lord's grace is there for us each day. And God gives us the encouragement to not think too far into the future. I'm thinking from, I'm not sure what the modern versions say, but sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. And that kind of teaches us to not plan too far into the future with the troubles that we're going to face, but just deal with the matters on a day-by-day basis. I'm quite encouraged that the day will come when we can put some of this behind us. Hopefully, I think we will learn some lessons from what we've experienced from a public health standpoint and even a church relationship standpoint, to really cherish interpersonal relationships that have been distanced right now. And that's what I see as being a disadvantage to what we're incurring. But the day will come, I think, when we can move back and enjoy more of what we were accustomed to.
Oh boy, I look forward to that. The psalmist says, I was glad when they said, let us go to the house of the Lord. And so we look forward to that day. Thank you, Gary, for coming on and
thanks for the
giving
invitation.
us an update. And we love you all. Take care.
And we wish you well.
I got so much I'm dying to tell you, but you can't bear to hear me.